Welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Ooh. Directed by George Miller, written by George Miller and Nick Lathoris, starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, Tom Burke, and many, many others. Angus Sampson is in there. Like seeing him in things.
We do.
This, of course, is a prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, but follows Furiosa, hence the name. And this, I think, collectively, is one of our most anticipated movies of the year.
Yeah.
Really love the Mad Max Fury Road film, like all the Mad Max movies, but Fury Road took it to another level. And so, yeah, we were both really excited about this, but where does it stack up? Is it as action-packed?
Is it as furious?
Is it as furious and roady?
Is it as dusty, as sandy as can be?
It is. It is very dusty. One thing I loved about this film was that it expanded on the lore and the world that was kind of established. I can't really remember how much they talk about Gastown and Bullet.
Both. They talk about them.
Well, no, I know they do in Fury Road, but I mean, like, the first three. The Mel Gibson ones.
Fucking guy who was laughing so loud in our theater.
Anytime someone died. But I just absolutely loved it. I mean, that was probably one of the nitpicks about Fury Road. It was just like, oh, they established this lore, but then didn't investigate it at all. And in this, they do. Bullet City and Gastown and made the world more whole.
Yeah.
And of course,
it combined the world.
Yes. Of course, it also has Chris Hemsworth, not restrained by the powers that be at Disney Studios and Marvel Studios. And he had fun.
He had a lot of fun.
You could tell he had fun, and that made it fun to watch him. But Glenn, what did you think of Furiosa?
Going off of the Chris Hemsworth thing, I wanted to state before I completely forget it off the top of my brain is that I haven't really been captivated by like a side character as much since Jason Momoa in that last Fast and Furious movie. He kind of just...
I thought you were going to say something a lot further away than last year.
Aquaman. He was so good. I mean, I didn't watch those, so I can't say. But I haven't been, like, captivated by, like, somebody else who wasn't, like, the very main character and who just took the reins and just freaking... just did its own thing.
Yeah. Chewed up the scenery.
Yep.
Ate some sand.
As, Jason Momoa in that last Fast movie, because Chris was great. He was going crazy. He was doing his thing. And he got to be a little Australian man, which is what he usually is, but he didn't get, like you said, he wasn't held back. He got to do his thing, just with a little twang to it too.
Yeah.
So.
I heard in an interview with him that he based the accent off of how his grandfather spoke, and I could totally see his grandfather with the nasally. I can't do an Australian
accent. He probably
accent,
said, "Give me his nose." Too.
Yeah, give me his nose. But yeah, he had a lot of fun, and he was just captivating to watch every time he was on screen.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest difference between Fury Road and this is less action-packed. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's so much quieter that I kind of... If I had to nitpick and miss anything, I missed the sound and how loud Fury Road was.
Yeah.
That's not to say that the sound is bad in this. It's just like it was so quiet. And when I go to see an IMAX movie, I really wanted to like shake the seats with the bass, and that didn't really happen in this. And
it focused a lot more on the storytelling aspect for her.
Which is not a problem.
No, not at all. Especially so much so that it literally did it in chapters. Really went in for that storytelling, which I thought was pretty cool. They didn't have to like go through her whole life. They took sections of her life and just made it the whole thing. And I thought that was really well done too. I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was she's amazing as usual. I was really worried for this movie, to be honest. Like, it didn't get me to the super hype levels that I thought I would be for anticipation. I don't know. There's just something about it, knowing it being a prequel, knowing the outcome of how
which characters will probably die.
So the build up to it, my excitement wasn't what I wanted it to be at, but watching it satisfied. So like, luckily I didn't have my expectations so goddamn high going into it, even though it was one of the most anticipated for us both. But watching it it took my socks and threw them out the window. Just blew them right off.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Especially there's a specific chapter, I think it was 3, where it's just where they built the war rig and then they just go to Gastown and then they're doing this whole fight sequence with it. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Honestly, anything with the war rig in this movie, it just absolutely kicked ass. Anything from Fury Road that you missed from that, we got from that sequence, or anything just with the war rig in general, was just over the top awesomeness that you would want.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really see how things kind of fall into place. Like the, I guess you could say, mayor or governor of Gastown that in Fury Road. You kind of see him in another role in this, still tweaking those nipples. He loves nipple play.
Who don't?
And you also kind of see how Furiosa, the beginning of how she has like a allyship, I guess, or a deal with the guys on motorcycles in Fury Road, and it just. It felt like George Miller had this. I think he might have. I could be wrong. Had this planned out before Fury Road. And
I don't think
just establish it with Fury Road.
I think he only talked about doing a prequel after Fury Road happened.
Well, I know he wanted to do stories in the Mad Max universe, not about Mad Max, and I think he used Fury Road to establish the world, and then was able to move forward from that.
Smart.
I'm going off of memory from like an interview I heard 3 or 4 years ago. I could be completely off about that, but it really just kind of shows how much into this world he is. It's a world he created with the first Mad Max, and it just expanded from there. And there were just fun little nuggets that were not as obvious and in your face as like the fan service of like Marvel movies.
What the hell was that?
It was lightning.
Oh,
Heat lightning.
anyway.
It was fan service, but not like in your face. Like, look how cool we are. It was just like blink and you'll miss it kind of fan service, and it also established enough where I feel like there could be another Furiosa movie in between this one and Fury Road, because there's characters in it that you don't know the outcome of that are definitely not in Fury Road. So it would be interesting to see if they do another one. I kind of hope they do. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it. It's definitely it's a different feel than Fury Road.
There's more CGI.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest nitpick, is that it didn't feel as dangerous and real as Fury Road. They didn't have as much practical effects and stunts.
In the beginning, it took me out a little bit, because you could definitely tell like when the CGI was happening. Because like they would do like human movements in CGI that were just way faster than the human body should even like be able to move.
It's Star Wars prequels vibes.
Yeah, maybe not as bad looking, but still you could tell.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest nitpick. And even in like the chase sequences, which they did, I mean, obviously it wasn't completely CGI or practical, but a lot of it in Fury Road was practical, and just you could tell that they were just driving on a blue screen in this way more than in Fury Road. Probably the only way they could have had it made, honestly, as far as like budget and stuff. It was this is an ambitious movie, because it has like, I don't know, it's so, I said it before, but it's so quiet. It kind of felt like an indie revenge movie at a certain time, where like they're just like, we're gonna let this story and the characters speak for themselves, and it works. It's just,
and in my opinion, it did.
It absolutely did. But I think a lot of people might come out disappointed because of that, which I understand.
Yeah.
That's why you should go in with no expectations. As much as this was like high up on my list, I went in with as little expectations as possible. The only expectation I had was that Chris Hemsworth was going to be fun, and goddamn was he fun.
Was he indeed?
Probably one of the best villains in a long time of any series.
I think what was kind of interesting about his performance is going to be a little bit sad what I'm about to say. Is a lot of his performance reminded me of like times when like Heath would act, Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
And that like he would have notes where probably because they're both Australian, but there would be notes where I'm like, ooh, that sounds like Heath. Oh my God, I would love to see what Heath would have done in like the Mad Max universe. He would have been probably fantastic. But anyway, delving off of that for a second. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I'm just happy to get something else Mad Max in the last 9 years finally.
I'm also glad that George Miller's not giving it to anyone else.
Yes.
Because I feel like they would probably ruin it. And God forbid when he dies, someone is probably going to sell it and make another Mad Max thing, and it's not going to be as good. But as long as he's alive, God damn it.
Yeah, I saw...
Make Babe and Mad Max and Happy Feet.
I saw a memory the other day on Facebook where, because I still go through those, I'm like, what did I say 10 years ago? But we saw, obviously, Mad Max, and then there was a...
That might have been our first movie date.
I don't think it was our first movie date.
Oh, no, Ex Machina and When We're Young or While We're Young.
There's Mad Max. Look at that. He's got a V8.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I was getting to was there was a memory of him, like George Miller saying that he was going to do a sequel to Fury Road, and then we never saw the light or heard anything about that again. And then I looked up Furiosa the other day, and apparently he is still doing a sequel to Fury Road. We just have not heard anything about it, at least worldwide, on what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I mean, George Miller, he kind of just does what he wants. Fine by me. I mean, even 3,000 Years of Long, it was actually... I enjoyed it. I understand everyone's gripe with that, but I enjoyed that movie. But yeah, really solid film. Kind of going back into like notes of things. I never realized how similar Charlize Theron and Anya Taylor-Joy's voices are. And it's possible that they could have mixed them in post or whatever to make them sound more similar. Or she could have
just tried to been impressioned a little bit.
Yeah, but like in shots where like she was speaking but you didn't see her face, I was like, is this Charlize Theron now? Because it sounded a lot like her. So it really kind of helped with the immersion.
They blended well.
They did blend well.
I don't know how far into the past it was compared to Fury Road, but
well, that's another thing. No one really ages in this universe.
Yeah. I don't even remember how long the whole beginning of the Mad Max apocalypse happens and how far off it is from these movies.
There's a whole thing. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, there's still some semblance of society in Mad Max, and then it just gets more and more chaotic. So I'm pretty sure, for the most part, everyone that's alive in this was alive when the world was kind of normal.
Yeah, I think so too.
I could be wrong. I'm just going off of the memory from the one time I watched Mad Max.
And now we all have kids named Scrotus and Rectus.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Just very glad to have a Mad Max type movie at all. I pray and wish that we'll get another one really soon. Not too soon to where it's going to probably be ass. George Miller, take your time, but please, I'm thirsty. I need some gasoline.
I mean, you're not in your 20s anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably way healthier than a lot of people, but because he was a doctor, you know that?
Is he?
Yeah, he's a doctor. I mean, not by trade anymore, but he studied. He's a doctorate, I believe. But yeah, give us another one.
Give us another.
Yeah, ratings. Ooh, Glenn, you go first. I keep going first.
I didn't even think about it. I'd probably have to give it a 4. Minimum. Very minimum.
Yes.
I think a 4 is a solid pick.
I'm with you.
Oh,
4. It could go up. I don't think it will go down, but it could go up. I think I'm seeing it with a couple friends a week from now. So we'll see how I feel about it then. But yes, 4s all around for us. Good job, George Miller. Good job.
You earned a PhD from me.
Yes. But yes, if you saw Furiosa, Mad Max Saga, tell us what you thought down in the comments below. What would you name your kid that sounded like a dick thing?
Some type of
testes?
Flatulent part of your body. Testes. No, it'd be
urethra?
Tectus.
Aretha Franklin? Oh, sorry, that is very disrespectful for Aretha Franklin. But yes, let us know down in the comments what disgusting names you would give your kids. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, we'll see you in the next next review. Oh, let me do that again. God damn it, Glenn.
Anicus.
Anicus.
Yes. I was thinking of one that long.
Yeah, so let us know what kind of fucked up names you'd give your kids in a wasteland. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next review. Goodbye, everybody.
Twatron.
Cuntus!
Bye-bye.